Hey everybody. So this be my third time trying to make this video. Phone just keeps cutting out just randomly. I don't know why while I'm trying to record. But I'm gonna stay back here for the first couple of minutes just to make sure it doesn't do that. But so I finally finished watching the rest of Rodney's videos, his two latest videos, and I finished watching the Ages of Ages one. And he was stuck on Hebrews 1:8 for a while in that video. And this was a point that I was not able to make in the last video, but I'll make it on here. Rodney has determined in his mind that in Hebrews 1 verse 8, which I'll go to right now. Well, unto the Son he saith, thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. He has concluded in his mind that the millennial kingdom, the millennial reign, which is 1,000 years, is what Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8 is talking about there. So therefore he is concluding that the words forever, the phrase forever and ever, must equal the millennial reign. Therefore, in his mind, since it equals that to him, forever and ever cannot mean endlessly or eternity. It can only mean a limited amount of time, according to what he believes now. Now, I want to show you how that is completely wrong. And Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8 is not talking about Christ's reign, millennial reign for 1,000, the millennial reign, his reign on earth for 1,000 years. It's talking about his throne. If you just go by what it says. But unto the Son he saith, thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. Now, okay, seems to be holding now. I will admit that if you are thinking in your mind, there's two ways to look at it. You could say, Hebrews 1 verse 8, if you were to say, well, Brandon, I believe that Jesus Christ's throne starts in the millennial kingdom. If you want to believe that, then it is, I think it's just common sense, or we can just conclude based off what the verse says, if you just believe the words, that his throne extends beyond 1,000 years. Clearly. Why? Because of what the verse says. But unto the Son he saith, thy throne, O God, is forever. Actually, forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. So for sure, with beyond a shadow of a doubt, you have to conclude, okay, past the millennial kingdom, Jesus Christ's throne is endless. That's just it. The throne is endless. It has no end. We have to believe what the verse says. I'm a little paranoid right now because this phone's been cutting out. Now, if you don't want to say his throne starts in Hebrews 1 verse 8, because there are some that say Christ's throne has always existed. And not that he's been ruling and reigning for all, since he has no beginning, he has no end. But he just decided to start ruling and reigning one day. It hasn't happened yet. The millennial kingdom, there's when he starts to rule and reign. But his throne has always existed. It's always existed. and it has really no beginning because he has no beginning, and his throne will have no end. So, so I've heard of that way of looking at it as well. I'm really, for me personally, I lean more towards his throne. I don't know, being started in the Millennium Kingdom and then past that existing for all eternity from that point forward. But I could see how somebody is saying that Christ's throne has just always existed because Jesus Christ is God. He has no beginning. He has no end. So his throne would have no beginning and no end based off of what they're saying. I'm not really concrete on that. I'm still learning about that. But what I do know for sure is that Christ's throne is for all eternity based off of what this verse is saying. Clearly, his throne is endless. Now, to try to say what Rodney is saying is Christ's throne is only for 1,000 years. It has a limited amount of time. No, the millennial kingdom is only for 1,000 years. His throne does not have a limited amount of time. His throne is for all eternity. That's just it. You can't get around. That is what the verse is clearly saying. Let's read it again. But unto the Son he saith, Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. A scepter of righteousness is the scepter of thy kingdom. There's no way to get around that. You can't. If you are saying that is not forever and ever does not mean endless, you just, I'm sorry to say, you have some type of possibly mental instability going on. Truly, you don't, I don't know, cognitive dissonance, I don't know. You just don't, you're denying reality is what I'm saying. You're looking at words and denying the meaning of them because you don't like what they imply. You look at these words, you know immediately what they imply. Forever and ever. You already know what this means. You already know. But because you want to hop on another teaching, you want to change it, you are opening the door for a possibility that is not even a possibility. You want to say, well, maybe I got it wrong, and Rodney's right. It's only for 1,000 years. Those words, forever and ever, maybe we're using the words wrong. No, you're not using the words wrong. You can go look it up yourself. Go to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, or again, the Bible itself just defines words for you. Look up forever and ever. Just look it up. Now, watching his video, he looked up the word forever. He looked up this word. And he concluded, it's an eon. But every time he came to this, the rest of it, when he came to a phrase that had and ever in it, he flipped out. Why is he flipping out? Because he knows what that implies. Forever and ever would not be just a limited amount of time. This would be endless. That's what that would be. It would be endless. It would be eternity. It would be with no end. It would be infinite. But he has to deny that. And it's no surprise to me he's able to do this. The same people that are believing this means only 1,000 years are the same ones that believe that at the cross, Christ's blood did not actually literally give everyone forgiveness of sins. Even though Ephesians chapter 1 verse 7 tells you through his blood, you got forgiveness of sins. That's the only way forgiveness of sins was given to Paul and all Gentiles. Now, of course, the nation of Israel, they got remissions of sins. So don't confuse that. There's people out there that think the nation of Israel got complete, total forgiveness of sins, but they didn't. I've already talked about the issue. The nation of Israel specifically were only given remissions of their sins. But the point is, Paul and all Gentiles, that will be us today as well, we were given total, complete forgiveness of sins through Christ's shed blood there at the cross. Ephesians 1 verse 7, in whom we have redemption through his blood, the forgiveness of sins. These people deny that verse. Rodney denies that. He still thinks you only get forgiveness of sins when you believe the gospel. Where's the verse that says that? What verse says when you believe the gospel, you get forgiveness of sins? There is no verse. It doesn't exist. He just made it up. He just made it up and said, that makes sense to me, so I'm going to run with that. So he's doing the same thing here. It makes sense to me that forever and ever means 1,000 years, so I'm going to run with that. It feels right to me. It feels good to me. Forget logic. Forget words. I mean, how many people that it's just common sense to know definitions to words, which he harped on, but he never wanted to talk about this part. He just kept harping on, no one had a problem when I said forever is an eon and all this stuff. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I agree forever is eon, but why don't you talk about the and ever part? Because that destroys what he's talking about. That's why he's not going to talk about it. He won't mention anything about it. He'll just conclude and just tell you 100%, never mind the words and ever. Don't worry about that. The whole phrase itself still just means a limited amount of time. And in this case, only 1,000 years. Don't look any further. Don't look up the word ever and look up the definition of that. Don't do that. Just go by what I'm telling you. This just means 1,000 years and leave it at that. It's insane, right? But as I said, I mean, should anything surprise you at this point? Make sure it's still recording. All right, good. So that's all. I mean, I don't even need to go that long in this video. That's what he was trying to say. I was actually just stupefied that he said that. I was just like, wow, like, you're really trying to say forever and ever means 1,000 years. Who's going to fall for that? People that do not actually believe the Bible. That's who's going to fall for that. But for those that actually believe the words in the scripture, you won't fall for that. You already know what forever and ever means. You already know it's endless. You already know this. You won't fall for it. So that's just what I wanted to cover today. And, he's got some more videos coming out that he said like I said, I'm still waiting for the video where he's going to try to explain his way out of trying to say people that will go to hell, go to the lake of fire, how they will be let out. I'm waiting on that video. I mean, it's crazy what he's doing, but the people that are believing it, I'm just like, how did you fall for this? I guess it's just possible to fall for anything. I mean, I don't know. When you just believe what a man says instead of the Bible, I guess anything is possible. All right, guys, have a great day.